Hey everybody, it's Holly from the Urban Homesteader, and I just realized that I have not given you any updates about the garden. So here we are, we're standing out here. I just ran the sprinkler for a little bit, and wow, there's a lot to catch up on for you guys. Just a few things that I decided to do a little bit differently this year was to plant no peppers. Our freezer is full, so therefore I decided to plant some things for Carrie. So she's got some garden items in here as well, who ironically started her own garden this year. So that's kind of fun. We'll talk about that another time. But here we are out in our garden. I just kind of wanted to run through and give you some information about why I did what I did and maybe some fun things that have happened or not so fun things. So I'm going to grab the camera and give you guys a quick little garden tour and talk along the way. Okay, I thought it would just be easiest to just go around the garden as it's laid out, and we'll just kind of talk things through. So first one here, you can see that I have planted some beans. So that's these right here. These are going to be bush beans. Very different than the ones that I planted last year. You remember they were dragon's tongue beans. They grew wonderfully, but I didn't really love the flavor. So kind of changing things up, and I'm going to do bush beans instead. And then over on the other side, you'll see a couple of little things. Those are actually potatoes. And so, kind of a funny story. Last year I bought some like potatoes from a greenhouse, and they were wonderful. And they were purple. They were a little dense, and they were also just kind of a little weird. They grew great, and I thought it was so fun to have them. However, I wasn't totally impressed with the flavor, so therefore my plan was to get different kind of potatoes. Ran out of time, and I had these growing on my kitchen counter. These are baby reds that I honestly pulled from the counter. I cut them like we do. We put them in like 1-inch chunks and planted them with the eyes. And here's what grew. So they're not coming in fantastically. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but they are coming. So I think that's just kind of fun. And I mean, whatever. I just think it's kind of cool that I pulled them literally off of my counter and put them in the garden. So that's this garden. Okay, we're going to move on to this. Now this is a little disappointing. This is my garlic bed, and I had a lot more of this in another bed that we're going to go to next. But this one, I just wanted to talk about this. This is all that came up. I had this thing full, and it is very disappointing. So what I have learned from not only this experience that I'm showing you, but also others that are gardening friends of mine, we had a hard winter. We had very little snow cover, and we had really cold temps. So I am going to assume that my garlic froze out. So I did have a few that made it, so that's great, but a little disappointing. And then you can maybe see I've got some, let's see if I can do this right here. I've got some, I believe that's basil planted for Carrie. I don't think that's coming in either. I don't know what happened. I just planted that this year, so I'm not sure, but I gave her 3 different kinds of basil. This is a Thai basil, and I am seeing no action whatsoever. So we're just going to wait and see. I mean, I'm not going to do anything about it. It's just going to be what it is for now. And if it doesn't come in, I don't know. I've got room in there. I could plant some radishes. Those are always easy. Okay, we're going to skip over here. This is the tomato bed. Obviously, that's doing very well. I had said earlier that I did not plant any peppers, but Pat came home one day. Somebody had given him 2 plants of habanero peppers. Here's one. The other one got plucked out earlier today because something nipped it off, and I don't know what on earth would want a habanero pepper, but something did, and I'm thinking it's some sort of insect. So I got to keep my eye on this other one, and hopefully all goes well with that. But these are doing great. These are all sorts of different kinds. I purchased all of these, I believe, came from, I'm pretty confident in that, all of them came from it was our senior center, actually. They have a plant sale every year, and I love their tomatoes. They do such a great job, and I just had really good luck with them, so I think that's pretty cool. Yay, tomatoes. Oh gosh, and then I have this. This is a little bit of a hot mess that I kind of thought I could overachieve on this one. So I have my kohlrabi, which you can see right here, these big guys. That's that. And then I got 3 rows of onions, and these onions are 3 different colors. I've got a red, a yellow, and a white. I don't know what order they're in, but we'll find out when I pull them out of the garden. Everything in here is looking amazing. Here's the problem. These kohlrabi leaves are going to overtake these onions and shade them, and I do not want that. So I think, do you see what these stakes are? I think I'm going to put up some sort of fence. I've never done that before, but I don't really know what other choice I have because they're just going to get huge. And so I think we already have like some, yeah, here's one. We've already got one starting. So these are all, there's 3 different kinds in here. I split these packs with my neighbor because these take up so much space, and you can only eat so many kohlrabies, although I love them. And then what's kind of fun, I had another neighbor who was walking past the other day. I was out here doing whatever I was doing, and he asked me if I was going to raise my award-winning kohlrabi again this year, and I said absolutely. So here they are. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted, of course, on that. All right, then we're going to skip over to this one. I had a friend visit. I had a couple friends actually visit last week. And my girlfriend said to me, "What container is this?" And I laughed and I said, "This is actually a filing cabinet tipped over." And she thought that was kind of funny, so I thought I'd share that little tidbit with you. But cool, right? Like totally repurposed, little rusty, little used and abused, and I love it. So that's that. So in here, this first, let's see, this one, this is all carry. So again, more basil here on this first one. This one is cilantro. And then the other one is that's another basil. So things are coming in. I have to do some thinning and that'll be fine. The middle one is carrots. I think there's 4 different kinds, maybe 2. I don't know. I gotta look at my posts, my little stickers. So I use forks and knives. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom in here. For markers, I think they work great. So obviously I have to do some thinning. And I remember when I was helping to teach a gardening class to adults, and they would plant carrots, and they had such a struggle with thinning carrots. And you guys have to understand that you have to thin them. If you want them to grow, you have to thin the carrots. And I just think it was very funny to, people would like have mini heart attacks trying to thin their carrots. I get it's painful, but you got to just do it. If you want actual carrots to eat, you need to thin them. So moving on, over here we've got some lettuce. I've never done lettuce, I don't think. Actually, last year I did try, but my my kohlrabi leaves got too big and overcrowded them, and then the lettuce didn't take. Well, different story this year. I told Pat just earlier today, I'm like, we need to start eating some salad because we've got some arugula that is ready to go. And then, what do I have? This is a mini, I gotta go check so right next here, this is also a lettuce, but it clearly is not coming in very well. Let me go over here once. Baby romaine. See my marker? Isn't that cool? So we'll just give it some time. We'll see what happens. All right, well, we're gonna come over here. Again, I have more little carrots, but isn't that funny? Like I planted all the way, let me see if I can do this, all the way here to here. And only that little patch came in, and that also needs thinning. So I will probably take care of that today. We'll see. And then the other part of it is peas. I am super excited. Peas is probably my favorite vegetable. I used to sit in my dad's pea field with a lawn chair and eat them until I got sick. I love them. They're my fave. So that's exciting. And then over here, this is marked for carry. This is dill, right here in the middle. And then I need to do a secession. What is the word? I'm going to plant another row for her so that she can get another crop through there. So, and then of course, holy moly, my asparagus is taller than me and looking gorgeous. So you remember this is planted last year. It did not get this full last year. It got pretty full, but not quite like this. This is pretty great. I love seeing this. And of course, unfortunately, I can't eat it yet. So next year is the year. I'm super excited. That is going to be fabulous. Okay, please don't judge my weeds. You know, there's only so many hours in the day. This is something kind of fun that I planted. This is actually beans as well, but these are beautiful when they are fully grown. So I have a trellis here. They're going to vine up that. They're going to have beautiful flowers on them, and they will have pods on them. From what I've read, I've never grown these before. From what I've read, they're more for decor than taste. But who knows? We'll maybe give it a shot. You know, if in doubt, throw in some stir fry. We'll see how that goes. But isn't that cool? I'll keep you guys posted on how that's coming along too. Okay, you guys, so that's your pretty much down and dirty, quick and easy tour of the garden for so far this year. I should probably tell you that I planted this about a month and a half ago already, so this is where we're at. I can't even believe that I never shared anything with you. I feel a little bad about it, but I'm not going back because we're in it now, right? I'm going to just kind of keep you guys posted. There are some things in the garden that I am continually working on, or I should say I have some goals. So I, of course, want to get rid of all these weeds. The weeds around here, it's a battle and the struggle is real. So my plan is to put down some landscape fabric and probably bring in some wood chips, but it's a lot. It's a lot of space out here. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of money. I don't know. I just gotta wait and see, figure out what I want to do here. But I'm telling you, I can't handle these weeds. I can't. I'm so grateful for these really high raised beds because the weeds are far easier to deal with. Not only do I not have to bend down, but they're just less of them, and it's just way more easy to manage. So I'm grateful for that, but I hate the look. I hate the look of all this. With that said, with all the work that I have around here, guess what I did this morning? Went to a plant sale. Of course, none of it is for this garden, not the vegetable garden, but geez, I just can't help it. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can relate. Please tell me in the comments of how you know how I feel. Makes me feel better that way. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for coming with me for the quick tour of the garden. We'll keep you updated as things progress, of course. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.